Hello, friends. Welcome to our program about glory, bravery, and determination. And we all know that you can be born with a silver spoon in your mouth, but to create your name, to set up an example in front of society, it requires a different gut. And today we are going to discuss about one such person. Her name is Arunima Sinha. She is a very well-known name, and people who follow her, they all already know about what she has achieved in her life. So we are going to tell you everything about Arunima Sinha, what she has achieved. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back, friends. And who is Arunima Sinha? Arunima Sinha is a first amputee to climb Mount Everest. That is, she is known for, and she is very well acclaimed because of that. But today, I will tell you everything about Arunima and what she achieved, how she achieved, and what propelled her to create this aim. Well, she actually hails from a very mediocre township in Uttar Pradesh, state of Uttar Pradesh. The town is called Ambedkar Nagar, and she comes from a very humble background. Her father used to work for the Indian Army, while mother was working in the medical field. And well, she wanted to create a name for herself. She also wanted to contribute to India right from the childhood, and that is why she had that urge, and she wanted to achieve a name for herself, even though she is coming from the humble background. And because of that, she started playing sports, and she was very good in sports from her childhood. And uh, and she set up her goals to achieve a name in the sports, and because of that she played volleyball for India at the national level 7 times. So she was already very well known at a very young age. And she also wanted to join the forces just like her father. And she was supported by her entire family, her siblings, uh, to join the paramilitary forces. She got a call for the examination and other tests with CISF. And well, she could not join CISF. We will actually tell you what happened. But on she continued her journey, and somehow she decided to climb the Mount Everest, and that is what she is known for. And by the way, she has set up the world record. She is the world first amputee to climb the Mount Everest. Not only the Mount Everest, she has actually climbed all the tallest peak in all 7 continents. And that is why she is being covered in our program today, because she has demonstrated extreme courage, gut, and glory. Well, as I said, her original aim was to play for India, and she played. She played 7 times at the national level, and after that, she wanted to join the uh, CISF paramilitary forces, and she basically got a call. She got selected in the first round. She got a call to appear for an interview and further test. And she boarded the train to go to Delhi from her hometown. And while she was traveling in the train, the tragedy struck. The tragedy is such, which is very, very heinous. Let me briefly tell you what happened. There were some um, hooligans in the train who were trying to loot the people, and Arunima, being a very brave girl at just a very young age, she confronted these hooligans who were actually having weapons with them, and people were scared because they were carrying weapons and guns, etc. But in spite of that, she confronted alone. There were multiple people there, at least 4 to 5 or maybe more, and she confronted all of them alone. And well, of course, a young girl cannot compete with these multiple hooligans and these unruly behaving people on the train. And she was overpowered. Her belongings were snatched by these people, and she was thrown out of the moving train. And that was a big tragedy because you know that you can imagine what will happen if you get thrown out of a moving train. She fell on the other track on the other side, and she had multiple fractures by the time, and she was very she was bleeding probably, and she had uh, grievous injuries, and she could not move, probably because of the multiple fractures in her back. And she was still conscious, but she could not move. She could not move her body. She saw the other train coming from the other direction, and she could not move to save herself. And the train passed over her leg. And after that, she doesn't remember what happened. So she saw the train coming. I mean, you can imagine how scary that would have been for anyone to see a fast moving train coming towards you, and then you are run over by the train. So she got, she did not remain conscious after this. And later she was recovered by the nearby villagers, and she was taken to the hospital, where in the nearby hospital, the doctor, in order to save her life, because by the time she had actually bled, and in order to save her life, they performed the amputation operation on her, but her leg was already out, but they had to seal her up, etc. And so she barely survived this tragedy. So you can imagine, I mean, she is going uh, to fulfill her dream to join the forces, and just she could not reach her destination. She met with this tragedy, this accident, somehow survived, and later she was transferred to All India Institute of Medical Sciences for recovery and for other operations, because her bones had body had taken a toll of this tragedy. So she was admitted to All India Institute of Medical Sciences. She was performed multiple operations. She was given plates in multiple locations, steel rods, multiple locations in her body, and everything has ended. For as far as her thought process goes, all her dreams were shattered, and there was nothing she could. She was still thinking what she has to do with her life, and she was very disheartened. Now, when this turmoil was going on in her mind, and she actually lived in AIMS for about 3 months, and during this time, while watching the TV, she saw a story about another big hero of Indian cricketing, another cricketing legend called Yuvraj Singh. Yuvraj Singh was diagnosed with cancer. However, he was highly determined person. He fought the cancer, defeated cancer, came back and played again for India. So this story was being telecasted on the TV, and she saw while she was being treated for her injuries in AIMS, and that gave her a boost. I mean, that gave her an inspiration, and that basically filled her with a renewed vigor. She thought that all is not lost, and there is still hope, and she can do something with her life. And she was supported by her family. Her elder brother always said that you can do something with your life, and he was always supporting Arunima, while her mother gave her the idea to climb the mountain like Mount Everest, and that idea struck into Arunima, and she then announced that she would like to climb the Mount Everest. And by the time, this was a very popular, a very well watched case, because she was a national level player of volleyball. So everybody knew that her personal tragedy was being watched by millions of Indians, and somehow the news about her decision reached the legendary Bachendri Pal. And guys, you know that Bachendri Pal is the first woman to climb Mount Everest, and she runs a mountaineering institute also. She has trained numerous mountaineers who have conquered Everest. So Bachendri Pal took the initiative to travel to Ames and meet this young girl. And during the conversation, Vichendri Pal realized that she's made of a different material. Arunima was very, very determined to climb Mount Everest, and she had made up her mind. Even though Vichendri told her that it is not easy, even for the able-bodied person to climb Mount Everest. I mean, if you're fully fit and all limbs intact, you will have a tough time on climbing Mount Everest. It's not easy, especially at the top of the mountain. There is a death alley where people who do not have good physique will surely die. So there is an area on the Everest called Death Alley. So all of these risks were conveyed by Vichendri Pal, but Arunima had decided by the time, and she was completely motivated to take up this challenge. And then Bachendri Pal took her and said that, okay, young child, I will train you, and I will make sure that you reaches the base camp fully trained with your disabilities, but I will do my best in order to make you, ready, prepared to to climb the Mount Everest. And but in the end, it has to be done by Arunima. Arunima had to climb herself, and by this time, her story basically caught on, and a lot of private entities came to help her to sponsor her initiative. Her good quality prosthetics were provided to her, and the trip was a trip or the expedition to Mount Everest was also sponsored by the private companies. And then she set out to achieve her new aim, which is climbing the Mount Everest. It was not easy. She is the amputee, and although she had support of the legendary Bachendri Pal and her team, but she had to climb the Mount Everest, face the terrible conditions which you and I can't even think of, and face it all alone. So she set out, and it took her some time. The overall expedition for her lasted for 52 days, which is slightly longer than other people. And the last stretch of the journey, which is climbing the summit, lasted for 17 hours. So she did not sleep for 17 hours because she had to climb, reach the summit, and come back. So when she reached the summit, she felt as if she's born again, and she's achieved her aim. She set out to achieve something else, but the tragedy struck. Now she set up a new higher goal. She achieved that, and she thanked Lord Shiva at the summit, and then she started climbing back. When she is descending from the summit, she was thinking about her next aim. This is a lady, this is a woman who does not sit, even though the odds are against her. She was already thinking about her next aim, and that was an aim which she set out for herself, to climb the tallest peak in all 7 continents. So she has done that. She has climbed the tallest peak in all 7 continents, including the tallest peak of Antarctica. So she is a lady who has been, able to achieve, set up new higher goals, achieve them successfully, created a name for herself, and because of this determination, this aim, this grit, valor, glory, she has been awarded several international awards and also the top civilian awards by the Indian government. And you can see the list of awards here. So all the prestigious awards have been given to her. She has been given a lot of grant in terms of starting something new. So she has set out new goals. She has achieved all of them. And what next for Arunima? She wrote a book. She wrote a book about her experience, her thought process when she was able to achieve her victory on the Mount Everest at the summit, and she felt like born again. She wrote a book which was launched by none other than the beloved Prime Minister of India, Mr. Modi. And now she is set up her new aim in her life, which is to help other disabled people, especially in the area of sports and mountaineering. So she is going to set up a new academy which will be named after Chandrasekhar Azad. So Chandrasekhar Azad Academy, where she is going to take up all disabled people across India and help them achieve their goals. So she is in the process of making this academy. And if you are watching, I think we must get inspired by Arunima Sinha's story, which is completely inspirational for everyone. She, a young girl coming from humble background, fought all odds to achieve outstanding aims, which is very, very difficult even for normal people. So, friends, I thought in this program of Grit and Glory, I will talk about Arunima, but I look forward to receiving your message, and I will meet you again next Monday with another session of Grit and Glory. As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you again.